So most people think that hearing loss is just about sound, but what if it actually affects relationships, confidence, memory, and even a person's identity? Because hearing loss doesn't usually happen all at once. It happens quietly until one day someone feels disconnected from the world around them. Today, we're talking about something millions of people experience, but very few truly understand. Hearing loss is often treated like a minor inconvenience, but the reality is it can impact nearly every part of someone's life, from relationships and communication to isolation, confidence, and even cognitive health. Joining me today is Michael Leung. He's the founder of the Flow Group, a company focused on making hearing support simpler, more accessible, and more human through innovative open ear bone conduction technology. So, Michael works closely with seniors and families every single day. And today we're diving into the real impact of hearing loss and why this conversation matters more than ever. So, Michael, it's really great to see you again. It was nice catching up before we started recording. Tell the audience how you've been.
Hi, thanks for having me. Doing great. Yeah, things are moving along. Got more collaborations, some partnerships, a lot of events coming up. So yeah, looking forward to continuing this journey.
Yeah, we're super excited to talk about hearing loss. Like I said in the intro, hearing affects pretty much everybody. You get older and you can't hear that well. Someone I know is in his 50s. He goes to a lot of concerts and a lot of sporting events, and he's having difficulty hearing, and he's in his 50s. And so I was talking to him about how that affects him. And he's like, well, when I'm at a large event and there's a lot of people around, I find myself having to lean in and really like listen hard and it's affecting the quality of his life. So what do you think most people misunderstand about hearing loss?
I think a lot of people first they need to have hearing loss in order for them to understand fully. Because a lot of people that don't have hearing loss don't know how significant it is until they have it.
Yeah.
Because for me, like being partially blind is a significant uh struggle every day. But my friends are always like, oh, like doesn't seem that bad. But I was like, if you don't have your peripheral, it's obviously like you're just imbalanced, right? So for hearing, it's same thing. It's not balancing out. One side can be higher, one side can be lower, or one side could be completely gone. So it's like then you're just depending on one side too, right? It's a lot of changes you got to do in life, and that you got to really it affects your mental health too. And that's why I feel for the seniors because not only do they have hearing loss, they have sight loss and health loss. For them to go through all this, it's very damaging for them, and you can tell they're struggling every day. They want something that can help them badly, and of course, a lot of people don't fare well with hearing aids because how expensive it is and how uncomfortable it is. Right? Well, that's why we have something so much more innovative now. But I've seen people from just depression, self isolation. They don't participate. They hide their room. A lot of senior homes say that the bingo nights or like certain participation nights are going down. People have hearing aids. They don't wear them. There's a lot of issues out there that we want to fix, and I think a lot of the problem lies with people being embarrassed of wearing hearing aids too, especially the younger people. That's why we make ours more trendy and cooler looking, so that they could ease into it, a little less stigma attached to it.
Yeah.
Um, so that's why, yeah, I've seen, yeah, lots of people, but a lot of my clients are like your age, my age, that just lost their hearing through working at factories or loud noises, and they would not wear hearing aids. Like they won't wear hearing aids. Going through life with your hearing getting worse and worse and worse, and tinnitus, where it's like bringing in buzzing in your ears all the time, that can be damaging for your brain too. So um,
Totally.
just a simple assistive hearing device could change all of it.
I mean, I can relate to that feeling. When I started losing my vision, I had to get glasses and I prolonged it for so long. I remember being in class in university and I'd sit in the front row and I'd be like squinting to read the notes on the board. And then one day I just did it and I got glasses and I realized how much it was actually affecting me. So I think sometimes we just tolerate it until we can't tolerate it anymore. But it's so bizarre to me that there's all this stigma attached to these things that are natural for humans, right? Like people are embarrassed to talk about hearing loss. People are embarrassed to talk about sight loss. People are embarrassed to talk about going to the bathroom, just like normal everyday things. But I think it's wonderful that you've created a product that is helping so many people because it really does affect emotional health. If you can't hear anything, you're going to isolate and then you feel embarrassed and shameful. But you work with seniors all the time. Can you give us some examples of stories and that you've witnessed while you've been working with them?
Of like frustrations and just embarrassment, stuff like that? Or
Yeah, just
um
what are you seeing
yeah.
when you go meet your clients? Like, what is the common themes in terms of hearing loss?
Yeah. Usually they're asking me like, what's different about yours that can help us, right? Um,
Right.
is
So why
this
do they refuse to wear them though? And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm curious
yeah.
about that.
They're so when they have them, they don't wear them. Is usually either they're scared of losing them because they had to get a new one, right? They got a new
Okay.
one. They paid out of their own pocket. So if they have a tendency to keep losing them, they're afraid of wearing them now, right? So they
Right.
rather not wear them, but then it's pointless to have them. You don't wear them. So the costs of things are obviously, you know, is the reason why, right? They spook them out, right? They make it too darn small. That's the other thing. So it can't you can't really like as much as you want to not lose them, it happens. It's so small. So ours is obviously large enough, and it's not going to fall anywhere, right? But when I see them, they all tell me about their own personal stories. I give them time to talk about their hearing loss, who's as severe and who's not, because I have to test them, right? So I can understand which is the best candidate for it, right? And who's not going to work at all. And then the ones that work really well are obviously, I had this one guy named Tadpole. That's his nickname. He's a Japanese guy in Toronto, and he's 88 years old. He has hearing aids, and he's like, I never wear them because when I wear them, he said he's like it almost gives me like a stroke or something. I was like, well, that's pretty deep. That's pretty serious. He's like, yeah, it only happens to some people, but it freaks me out or something. I was like, okay. He's like, is this gonna work for me? And I was like, I don't know. Let's try it. And I was like, how bad's your hearing? He's like, it's kind of bad, but I was like, okay. And I was like, I didn't think it'd work, right? So I tested him and I'll play the piano from further away. And I start playing the piano and he hears the notes. And there's like six, no,
Right.
60, like 30 seniors sitting in a circle while we're doing this. And then he, he usually needs like lip reading, like watches lip reading, right? So a lot of people I cover my mouth and I talk in a pretty clear voice, and it kind of people can hear it pretty well, right? So he heard like everything. And I was like, "What do you need tonight? What do you? Where's your where's your next date or something?" He's so I don't have a girlfriend, right? So then everyone's like, "Wow!" And everyone's like clapping, and then and then I was like, "He's not an actor. He's not an actor. I swear, they're like, because it works so well, right? But then obviously there's some people that you put on them, it doesn't do anything, right? It has to be that where your hearing can pick up the sound vibration still, because you can be 100 years old and it still works. But you can be 70 year old, it doesn't work. So it's not about the age, it's about how severe their hearing loss is and what type of hearing loss they have. But I've seen a lot of people that have hearing loss, just they're very grumpy, they're very angry that they got that some seniors don't have hearing loss as bad as them. There's like, and then some of them just yelling, and people you can tell they're embarrassed because they're yelling, and everyone's
Yeah.
face is kind of like this, and then some of them just like, and because they're mad, they take it out on me, right? They'll just take it on everybody. They're like, this thing doesn't work. Oh, this garbage. It's like, and then they just go angry. And then people are like, hey, let us like listen to him, right? Give him a chance. And then she starts seeing everybody, like most people were working, right? Then she's like, okay, like, can I try too? And then she can actually hear a little bit better. So then she's like,
Right.
okay, okay. She's like, I'm sorry. It's like from the past, all these other things didn't work. Wasted our time. So I think I'm at a time where it's good. I came in to try to solve this problem, but then I'm also trying to solve a problem with a lot of angry seniors that don't trust technology as much anymore or that don't know about it. So it's kind of like trying to encourage them to try it out. That's why I have to go and do hands-on training and hands-on tutoring with them for hours sometimes, even if it looks simple, maybe to us, but not to them, right? So
Yeah, I think if you're not being seen or heard as a human, that's one of the basic needs that we have, is being understood and seen and heard. And I can't imagine how frustrating it would be to not be able to hear what someone's trying to tell me, or you're missing out on things. And gosh, that would be so incredibly frustrating. I would love for you to tell everyone a little bit more about who is ideal for your product, because you were saying that it depends on the severity of the hearing loss. Can you say more about that?
yeah, so the groups that I find that works the best with my product is usually people that have started getting slow decline of hearing loss. So they never really had their hearing is pretty good normally, but they're 70 years old and just start to like get hearing loss. That's gonna work perfectly because it's in the mild or moderate kind of stage, right? And they don't want to purchase those expensive hearing aids yet, right? Because it's still
Yeah.
low.
Right.
People that are allergic to hearing aid materials, they when they wear it, they get the silicone. It's causes itchiness or redness or rashes, so they can't wear it, right? Because they're just so bothered by the itchiness. Lots of them have that. People that are just worried about the prices of the hearing aids, obviously, even though they qualify for it, they're worried about the effects after if they lose them. So then they want this option, this new option, right? People have tinnitus. Only thing that works is bone conduction headphones because of the open ear design, right? The natural ambient sounds that comes in neutralizes the tinnitus in your brain, right? So hearing aids can't do that because you need the open ear design to do it. So like candidates, people that have conductive hearing loss works perfectly. People that have gotten into accidents with guns where it blew out their eardrums. Now their eardrums is in the middle of their ear. So all the sound that's trying to penetrate gets blocked up by this trauma in the middle. So now with bone conduction, it bypasses through it and it goes directly to the inner ear where it still works. So a lot of people that have conductive hearing loss, their inner ear is still perfect. It's just they have this blockage for the middle or outer ear, right? So that's why bone conduction bypasses through the damaged wall. Yeah, that's why I want to probably promote more to people like that as well. It's just I'm so focused on seniors. I didn't want to confuse them. You know, once you start doing too many different sectors at once, the seniors will kind of be like, "Well, you helping us? You helping them?" Or, but it really helps everybody, right? So I do want to like let people know that it helps labor workers. I work with the fire department or veterans of all sorts, factory workers.
Yeah, what an amazing product. Can you give us there's been a growing conversation about hearing and cognitive health. Do you have any insight into this connection, and can you explain that?
Hearing, I was always like wondering why there's so many different conditions that are associated with hearing loss. Like, because
Yeah,
I obviously I'm not a medical doctor, I can't say like too many
yeah,
things, but I can say that with my experience with people with dementia or MS or Parkinson's, they really find that my product works better because when they have anything inside the ear, they get very bothered by it. So when they get bothered, they can't think clearly. Their cognitive ability is not working. Like they're not focused. They're not thinking clearly. They're just so annoyed with this thing. So when they take it out, now they wear something that's so comfortable. It's on top of their ears, in front of their ears, right? They don't feel it as much. Now they can finally focus onto the things in front of them. So that's what we started doing. We started doing some case studies with some seniors with their wives, right? For 3 months. And we were noticing immediately that they're hearing more clearly. Their decision making, their memory is all like more clear. So we asked 10 questions in sequence. And the wife is, he's like, "What's your dog's name? Or what's your daughter's name? What's your doctor's name? What's their birthday?" And he's like, boom, 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 boom. He just said it. She's like, "I've never seen him answer a question so fast and so clear." So because of that, that's why I'm very confident that with these new programs we're doing with other dementia experts, they're going to try it on their people to see if the communication improves, their memory, everything else. Possibly, I could get a recommendation letter that can help with other things like grants and funding and maybe for Blue Cross approval and stuff, right? Those are all things that I can collect and build a case for this, right? So, yeah, um,
absolutely.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
can I answer the question?
absolutely. I think that's a great answer. It definitely is
Yeah.
so connected to cognitive health.
Oh, sorry. One more thing. It's because it's close to the brain because the ears is close to the brain, so all the nerves are so close to the brains. That's why all these conditions, because a lot of them are neurological conditions, right? Like, so it connects to hearing loss, right? You lose some of this, it kind of connects to the ears, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Why do you think so many people wait before doing something about their hearing loss?
Either they don't have the money, because that's why a lot of people low income don't wear them because they don't have anything. That's why this would be perfect for them. The day I make it global, we'll know because not no one knows about it globally. Canada, maybe US a little bit, right? Or there are people that go on my website, they look at it, but I think people need to try it first. That's why I have the 30-day money back guarantee now, so they could do the online questionnaire, see if they're a good fit, and then they can order it. And if it fits the criteria, that they get the money back guaranteed, right? So I had to make that questionnaire to kind of filter out the people that won't work, right? Because there are good people that won't work, right? So that helps a lot. But I think people are ashamed of it. Some of the people have hearing
Yeah,
loss too early, right? Like if you have hearing loss, I have hearing loss, I'd be like, kind of embarrassed too, right? Because you're like, what? And people are just yelling. is screaming at each other. But when they wear this, they're not yelling and screaming at each other anymore because they hear their own voice. So a lot of times they're like, "Am I
Yeah.
yelling? Am I yelling?" And we're like, "No, you're talking pretty quiet." They're like, "Oh, really?" It's like because when they yell, it's like, "Ah!" Right? It's like so that's a good thing. So my uncle, great example. He's so worried about his look and his pride, right? So he'd be like, so he couldn't hear for the longest time. When the women told him to wash dishes, he'll blame it on he doesn't hear women sounds. So then but he hears his son apparently, but his son's like, that's a lie. He doesn't hear any but one of us, right? So he's 70 something years old. He came to all my events every single year. He's like, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. But it worked, right? I'm like, it looks so cool on you. You should buy it, right? And then he's like, no. So then my cousin put it on him when he's sleeping one night, right? Then he woke up with it, started talking to people. He didn't even feel it in his head. And then my aunt's like, "Whoa, you're having a good day today. You're hearing everything so well, right? We can hear you. Like we're talking to you, you're understanding." He's like, "No, I've told you I'm good, right?" And then they're looking in the mirror. He's like, "Whoa!" He's like, "Oh." He's like, "How does this get here?" And then he finally started wearing them. But I had to give
Wow,
it to him for free. I had to give it to him for free. Wouldn't buy it, but
incredible.
it's okay if yeah. So
Yeah, it obviously works really well. Do you have a recommendation as to when people should start paying attention to changes in their hearing or how, like how early?
I don't know any age really. I know kids that are 12, 13 years old. The earlier the better,
Right.
right? So you can fix it. And if
Yeah.
not fix it, but something to assist it to make it clearer because people don't understand. I think they think that by not wearing anything and just like, maybe turning things louder is going to help it, but it's making it worse, right? They think by, turning the TV on louder and people yelling at your ears louder, or sitting by them, the speakers, louder, right? But it's just causing more and more damage long term. And I think if people knew about this before, they wouldn't have sat by the big blasting stereo by the ravers or the DJs, right? Because a lot of people go up to like and then after they realize 20 years down the road they lost their hearing because of it. So I think people need to be educated that bone conduction headphones is the healthiest way of hearing because when you wear it on the outside, even though the sounds doesn't have bass and it doesn't have like the loud, intense sounds that you get, but you don't really need that. I think as long as you can hear is clear and it's healthy and it's not going to damage your ears long run, I think you should go with bone conduction headphones because ours has the amplification added to it. It makes the difference compared to all the other ones because we were like, what's the difference with yours? It's the amplification. Now you can use it for social interactions, right? But all bone conductions are good for your hearing. If people want to just use it for talking on the phone and jogging, you buy any type, right? But if you want to buy something for social interaction, this is the one. So I think
Yeah,
you just go be like proactive, Google stuff. Nowadays, people Google everything. It's like, oh, my ear's a little off. They Google and like, oh, might be something wrong with it. I should go get checked, and then find out that they've lost their hearing on one side or something, right? So ours could do. You can change your volume on one side or the higher on the other side, right? Dual volume control, right? So people like that, right? So I think I've seen people, yeah, like 6 years, like six, no, 6 years, couple years old, they have hearing loss, but then they can't wear this because it's too big. So they have to, be 12 years old. Their head has to be mature for it to wrap around, right? So yeah, yeah. So people are like, can you make baby sizes? But it's we make it one size fit all just for the general public, but to make a little size for everyone is just, not good for business. Yeah. But yeah, I think everyone just don't be shy. Don't feel that you're looking, that you're like, um, you know, uh, disadvantaged or, people think you're disabled or something. The better thing, the quicker you get it fixed, the better, or else you will be getting cochlear implants down the road, which costs $20,000, you'd be on a waiting list. And that's when it's worse, when you lose all your hearing. So it's like, if you have some hearing loss, don't be embarrassed. Go wear something that helps it, right? So,
exactly. I'm just curious as if you could explain more about what makes your open ear hearing support different from traditional devices. And tell us more about if your product requires apps, if it's rechargeable, how much it weighs, and tell us about the buttons and the way it works.
oh, yeah. So it's different than traditional hearing aids because ours is open ear, theirs is in the ear.
Yeah.
It looks,
So it sits
oops,
on the outside.
it sits on the
Right.
outside.
Okay.
So the
Yeah.
ear hook mounts down on the ears. So bone conduction, theirs is not bone conduction. So ours don't require the ear canal. It just uses the bones to amplify the sounds. Where hearing aids
Got it by
needs the
vibration.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Vibrations, and the vibrations transmits it to electrical signals through the auditory nerve and the cochlea, right? And the brain then recognizes as sound. So it goes through a process, right? And of course, if you have a sensor neural, which is the inner ear issues, that's where it's trickier with my product because
mm,
if you're the worse the hearing loss is, this would probably not work as well. So because you need to have some hearing left in order to pick up the sound vibrations, right? So your auditory nerve has thousands of little hairs that can transmit these sound vibrations, right? If they have nothing left in it, then people need cochlear implants, right? Sometimes even hearing aids not going to work very well. So yeah, and ours is rechargeable, hands-free, 8 to 10-hour usage, 1 hour charging, and a very quick button to turn on and off at the front. Very easy. Dual volume control underneath. People use that. And there's also a noise reduction chip planted in. So a lot of people get background sounds, or, they want to focus more front. So now we have this smart noise reduction chip planted in, so it does minimize background sounds,
amazing.
right? And the next model we're gonna do is try to like up, make improve even more, right? Like maybe filter out even more background sounds, right? So I have a list of things I want to do to improve it and collaborate with my supplier later. But right now this product works really well, and even as water resistant, it's a mid grade, so you splash some water on, you get sweat in it. So a lot of people use it for jogging and stuff, but you can't submerge, you can't swim with it, you can't shower with it. It'll damage the product.
Of course.
The price is $2.99. They're very affordable. We have 10% off right now till end of the month, so people should buy. It's like $30 off. We ship all across the world, right? But we're just trying to get as much visibility, exposure as much as possible. And because I'm in Canada, I do a lot of presentations across Canada, but I do want the global reach because I know everyone can use this. Anyone can benefit from this affordable product because a lot of people can't afford hearing aids and they can afford something that's $300, right? Um,
Absolutely, for sure.
yeah,
And if it's gonna change the rest of their life, right? It's gonna help in so many different ways. I'm sure you've seen your product completely impact someone's life, someone's family's life even. Do you have any success stories that you'd like to share?
yeah, there's actually quite a few successful stories. One of the guys I work with, he's like a office guy. This is one of my beginning people, right? So he came in, couldn't hear anything out of his right ear, like gone, completely gone. He said nothing the doctor told him could work, but he was told that bone conduction might work. He had something called a mastoid infection. So in the middle of the ear, he had this infection where it filled up with mucus, or like I don't know what exact term it was, but it was just pus kind of thing, right? So they had to drain it out, but it caused some damage to the middle ear. And the middle ear has three bones. Anvil bone is one of them. So it's the thickest bone in your ear. They removed it and it caused them to go completely deaf in one side. So no sounds was penetrating through because one of the bones got removed. So it just like caused some issues there. And the moment he wore this, he was like, "Oh my God." He's like, I can hear clearly. And he's just like freaking out until his day. Now he uses it for bowling. He uses it for like he goes on dates now. He's so just shut out from the world because he was so embarrassed about it. Yeah. So now he's just like so happy, changed his life. And I've seen seniors too where they're just like, I can't stand hearing aids because like I get earwax build up so much that sometimes the earwax is the clogging up the ears that's causing them not to hear very well, right? So when they drain it or they flush it, it's not a fun process for them. So they have to do it so often because hearing aids and they wear this, they don't have to worry about that. So yeah,
Absolutely.
it's just so many different like positive benefits about this. That's why I want everyone to know about it.
Absolutely. So before we wrap up today, if someone listening today suspects they or someone they love might be struggling with hearing loss, what do you want them to know?
That they can just Google, hearing loss, healthy way of hearing, it'll probably direct them to, bone conduction headphones or something, right? If they want to get more specific, they can, put amplification assistive devices for hearing or something, then we will automatically be one of the top searches. So, try it out, answer our questionnaire. I think that ours is pretty much probably the only device out there that's affordable that assists your hearing without the stigma attached, so you can wear it like a cool, trendy looking headphone. So you don't have to worry about it looking, too old school, I guess. But
Medical
so
device, right?
yeah, like medical device where everyone can know you have hearing loss, right? So this is the best way of wearing it where no one's gonna really know, right? So, yeah, I think they can find us on our website.
Amazing. Does it fit under hat? Does it fit under a hat?
Oh, under hat. They can pair yeah, they can wear it, over top of their they put their glasses over top, and then if they want, they put their
Okay.
hat over top. Yeah, because the hat doesn't bother it. The glasses is more, directly because it's on it, right? So it's just, stacking it on each other if they feel comfortable with it, right? Some of them might feel it's a little heavy, but then most people are fine with it. The hat just goes over top. It's like
Okay. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here today and for telling everyone more about your product. Hearing loss is a big deal, and anything that affects someone's mental health, right? If you can fix that, it can literally change your life.
just a simple little product can help. Why not, right? Like it's a great investment for so cost effective. And I see people use it for everyday purposes. So imagine you need your hearing for everything. So people need it for dinners, they need it for talking to their friends, watching TV, talking on the phones. That's almost everyday things. So if I knew that there's something out there, I would definitely try it out, right? Because it's not thousands of dollars. It's a couple $100.
Yeah. Totally worth it. So thanks again for being here. I look forward to further episodes with you and continuing to follow your journey. So thanks so much, Michael.
Thank you.
And thank you to our audience. This conversation really reminds us that hearing is so much more than volume. It's about connection, presence, confidence, relationships, and feeling included in life again. So, again, Michael, thank you so much for the work that you're doing to make hearing support more accessible and more human. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone that might need to hear it. And you can learn more about Michael Leung and the Flow Group at www.theinnerflow.com, which we will link in the show notes for you so you can check out the questionnaire and learn more about this wonderful product and everything else that Michael is doing. So thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Stay tuned for the next episode. Bye for now.